Hello and welcome back to Rolls Untold. I'm your Game Master, Tanner Neath, and today marks the second episode of our prologue series where we'll be introducing Pip Tjorvik, one of the protagonists of our campaign, The Fate of Galvera. The second character is piloted by Alex Weeks. So Alex, are you ready to roll?
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. Let's begin. After months of traveling from town to town, camping and surviving on the road, starting in the Frosted Barrens where you're from, you finally arrive at the human capital of Terrestria, Therendel. Here, you were told that there's a presentation taking place from an old acquaintance of your father at the shipyard in the city. An invention will be revealed today that will revolutionize traveling on the open sea. You have this gut feeling, and if your suspicions are correct, you can finally reveal your own truth. You can save the Tjorvik name that has been sullied and raked through the mud. As you walk through the gates of Therendel, the city looms large. There's more people than you've seen in a long, long while. Not since you were but a pup. Did you visit one of the northern dwarven cities that was roughly to this scale? It's a little overwhelming. But you take a breath and... So Pip, standing just through the gates of Therendel, tell us, who are you?
I am Pip Tjorvik, and I've journeyed quite some way from home, really for some personal business, so I wouldn't really reveal that to a lot of people on the way. That's not quite fun to talk about, but I've got my fishing pole strapped to my back, and I've got just my sack of all the bare necessities I have, stepping off of the ship, coming into... Which city again?
Therendel.
Therendel, yep. Yes. Stepping into Therendel. And I think... Oh, boy. I mean, I think that I would just right off the dock be searching for like a local fisher who is selling some food, because it's probably been quite some time since I've had a really good meal.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, as you kind of stop in the gates and you're watching, you're taking in your surroundings, hearing the people, the carts, everybody doing their trade, and you see everybody's congregating around this certain area. Who knows? Maybe there's food here. You don't know. But you see that the people arriving around you, they're all kind of gathering towards this congregation, moving towards what is called King's Square. And you see far, far beyond another set of gates which lead into the actual royal quarters. Above this other city line, this other line of walls. These walls are encapsulating a massive palace that you can infer is the royalty, the royals of Therendel. So, what would you like to do from here? Going for maybe just a spot of food.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, I think that I get down onto all four paws of mine as I creep, well, not creep, but I like patter through. I'm just kind of following my nose, right? Looking for just like the right smell, maybe a roasted, a roasted fish, or like a bowl of clam chowder, something that could not be prepared on the journey here, but would certainly be a welcome sight if it was.
Sure. Go ahead and give me perception. Let's see exactly what you're smelling.
22.
Okay, pretty nice. As you're scouring on all fours and you're kind of standing, you're trying to see through this crowd of people much taller than you, but
Yeah.
while it is called the human capital of Terrestria, there is a vast, a plethora of different types of people. You see, there are orcs, there are elves, there are dragonborn, which aren't, I don't want to say common, but not in the standings that you are seeing walking around the city of Therendel. And as you're taking in all your surroundings, you finally catch a whiff, something that smells sweet.
Ooh.
It smells delectable.
Yeah, I'm just following my nose. Almost like, you know, in a cartoon when you're lifted out of the air, right, by the
Yeah.
smell. That's the same energy as I have my eyes shut as I just take my left and a right in between someone's legs.
Yeah. You finally get to what the source of this smell is, and you open your eyes and you see there's this small stand with this little elderly woman, and she's handing out what looks like these pastries. You can smell hints of cinnamon and a little bit of... Is that vanilla? It smells wonderful. Definitely not something that you could have made along your trip camping, surviving off the land.
Oh boy. Is there like any signage or anything?
No, it's just a tiny little cart. It doesn't look like she is here on an actual, like, from an actual business. It looks like she's more here just selling her pastries. But you do see that she has a couple racks of different pastries. And then she's got... You said signage. Are you talking about like
like what
signs or
what's posted? Like who is this woman? How much are the things, right?
Okay, you see there are tiny little like price markers on the bless you. On the actual cart itself. So you could probably go up there and see how much things are.
Yeah, and I am up on my hind legs as I think I go onto the tiptoes of my paws, and I have my two front paws up on this counter, just barely, not even making that level of the pastries as I'm looking at them, and I just kind of like licked my lips.
Oh dearie, aren't you sweet? Are you wanting something to eat?
As you hear from my stomach.
Let Granny Nana fill you right up. And she goes over to one of the actual racks and she pulls off what looks like a cinnamon roll. And she hands it to you on a tiny little wooden plate.
Thank you so much. This is I don't think I've ever had anything like this before. What As you can just see, I'm very distracted by another growling in my stomach.
Don't you worry about paying. That's Granny Nana's cinnamon nut roll. You have it on the house. You look like you've traveled quite a while.
And I just start eating.
Great.
And you can see all the sugar is not the sugar, but all the glazing, the sugar glazing gets stuck into my fur as I'm just consuming this thing, having not really eaten anything besides hardtack in a minute.
Yeah, and there's just a pleased look on her face as now you can kind of tell she doesn't do this because she's trying to make a little extra money. She does this because she possibly has a love for baking, or she's just maybe a sweet old woman. But as you kind of fill yourself, and it's very tasty. And now you're kind of taking in your surroundings a little more. You find that you are at this statue. It is this massive, kind of dark gray stone statue with these silver creases that look like they've filled in cracks. You see there's 4 lions around the outside, all in different poses. One is in a proud sitting stance. One is in a ferocious kind of clawing stance. Another one is almost in like a snide protective stance. And then the other one is maybe in a little bit of a snarky stance. And then atop another plinth, you see a man adorned in this heavy armor with this lion cloak over the side, with a lion at his side. Sword pointed toward the gates of Therendel.
And I, as I'm scarfing down this cinnamon roll, Granny, sorry, as I just like wipe off the sugar from my fur. Who is that man up on the statue there?
Oh, that's Theranor Randolph, first king of Therendel. We call him the Pride of Therendel. He established everything, and they actually just rebuilt this. I don't know if you are familiar with the assassin god Rosgoled. The incursion of his army, I guess it was 90 years ago. It sure has made history. But Therendel was one of the prime cities that he took over and caused wreckage. They just repaired it, and I guess it's causing quite a ruckus. You'll notice that people are standing kind of in awe, gawking, and you see, it is a fountain, not just a statue. So people are kind of sitting around the fountain and just enjoying kind of this new structural pride of Therendel in the center of King's Square. Are you new to Therendel?
Yeah, actually, that's I'm looking to get to the city proper.
Oh, well, you just go right up north. You follow the path. You'll go through the market square, and then you'll head right there.
All right.
Should take maybe about 15-minute walk.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Of course. What was your name?
Oh, Pip.
Oh, fantastic. Randall.
Oh,
He shakes your hand, kind of your
sure.
tiny little
Yeah.
paw. Well, I hope you get along all right. I've got errands to run, or else I'd talk all day, me.
Well, it was nice. It was good to meet you. Thank you so much for the pastry and for the for the warm welcome to your city.
It is all right. The city can be quite overwhelming.
Yeah.
And he turns and he heads off, and you see he meets a woman off kind of in the distance who's beckoning him forth, and they kind of just disappear into the crowd.
Yeah, and I'm gonna follow the instructions and head forward.
Okay, fantastic. On your way forth, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Yeah. That is great this time. 11.
11? Not quite. You do hear one name with an 11. Felwood.
Where is this coming from? Who's saying this name?
It is behind you. You hear it's in a tight whisper with these two ladies dressed in bonnets and very ornate gowns. They're congregating by this fountain, and just as you are kind of rounding the rest of the fountain to follow the path to the city proper, you just overhear that one word.
And I stop, and my fur, sort of from the tip of my head to my feet, to my tail, shivers down and stands on end. And I grab my tail bag and keep it close to me, and I actually take it off and sort of put it on a strap and put it up in front of me as I hold on to it. And I turn to look at these ladies.
They don't notice you. They are in hot gossip.
And
all their world is them right now.
I just want to, on all fours, I want to crawl behind, like on a bench, or...
Yes.
I want to crawl behind their bench and listen to this whole conversation.
So I would say the bench is pretty flush with the actual statue itself.
Oh.
You could probably maybe round the statue a little bit and just kind of possibly blend
Absolutely.
in. Sure. Go ahead and give me stealth.
19.
19. Okay. You kind of go the opposite way, and you go all the way around the fountain, and then you just perk your ears up. Oh, yes, that Mortimer Fellwood fella. He's odd, but very charismatic, I might say. Yes, he's giving out private tours of his new ship. He wants to show off this new creation of his. He's only giving it out to a few people, but I've got a ticket. Oh, and yes, dearie, I got you a ticket as well. Don't worry. I always take care of you, do I not?
Okay. Okay. I approach this woman, and I think, oh boy. Do I see the tickets?
No.
I'm gonna search for the tickets.
Okay. Where are you searching? You haven't really gotten a good look at them, as you've been trying to kind of keep out of eyesight of them as well.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm moving straight forward, so I have a clear view and I can find these tickets.
Oh, got you. Okay, cool. Then I will. You're moving straight forward, like in front of them,
Yeah.
in their conversation, or are you trying to like almost
I
give a little bit of a
no.
berth so
I
you
think
can get
that
a
it
view?
would have the intention would have been to stay away.
Okay.
But no, absolutely straight into their conversation.
Straight into
Just
their
walk into their conversation. Look
Fantastic.
to find the tickets.
Got it. It's another
Perception 7.
7. You see she has a bag on her, but it's kept pretty tight and close to her. Nothing really else much. Again, they're wearing kind of these tight dresses. It probably no pockets.
I'm so sorry. Did I hear you say that Mr. Fellwood was doing a private tour of his new ship?
Oh, why, yes, of course. Well, I don't know if you know any... This is the other woman talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you know anything about Mortimer Fellwood, but he's a big name up north. In the Frosted Barrens. He came from a small village, I believe. Oh, what was that ratty little name?
It's fine.
Well, I don't remember, but everyone knows Mortimer.
Well, How do you know him? If you don't mind me asking, if that's all right.
The other woman pipes up again. Well, he's having I guess a convention off at the shipyard. If you have tickets, you could go. But I don't think someone of your stature would have access to that.
And I just look down, and I look back up.
They look at the kind of ratty mess that you are.
Well, and I just want to snatch the purse.
You snatch the purse? Okay. Yeah, I would just say make a sleight of hand with... I actually won't even give you disadvantage because you're not trying to hide anything. Just make a sleight of hand.
I am just trying to take it.
Yeah.
18.
18? Yeah, you full well. You're smaller, so you're able to pull it right off.
Yeah, and it pulls off, and I slip it right over my neck, and it's like a backpack, like a side bag.
Fantastic.
As I get onto all fours, and I just start running.
Okay, you start running through the crowd. Help! Help! Guard! Guard! That creature stole my purse!
And I want to duck behind an alley, and sort of like scan the area. Is there like a barrel or anything?
Yeah, I'd probably say there's the barrel. I mean, going down this main line, there's there's definitely crates and barrels every once in a while, but it's mainly a straight on line of like houses and cottages, and there's like back alleys. This is a city, so.
Oh, no, actually, I know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, of course. So I turn down an alley, turn down behind another house, right?
Okay.
And I'm going to climb up onto the roof.
Sure. Yeah, as you kind of duck and turn between these two alleys, and you scurry up on a roof. Go ahead and give me athletics to try and...
Oh
no.
1.
Oof. As you go, I'll say you get halfway up, and you grab onto a shingle for kind of the first portion of the roof, and it immediately just slides off, and you... poof, and you slam down onto the ground. purse spilling all of its contents out. You don't see any tickets. You see mostly just coins, and you see there's like a diamond ring in there. You see there's a couple bits and baubles, but no tickets. And then you hear this of a few heavily armed men.
I'm gonna just abandon the purse.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, you book it. Where would you like to book it to? These alleys are all interconnected.
Is there like
back to the street?
Yeah. Is there like maybe a wagon going towards the city proper?
Probably not in this area. Not where you're at. But you do, as you kind of round about the alley, see signs pointing towards the different areas. Because again, this is the capital city of the human provinces, and you do see a sign pointing towards the shipyard.
Yeah, I'm gonna book it and sort of try to hide somewhere for a minute, and just close enough so I can know where they are heading, and then I want to avoid them while making my way to the shipyard.
Sure. I'll just say go ahead and roll me another stealth roll.
Yeah. Oh wait, that was a D12.
That's D12.
I was like, another one! No! Okay, a 15.
15?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say you definitely get out of the perception of these guards. You run, and then I'll say there's a little toy stand, and you just stand behind the toy stand.
Oh my gosh, yeah, a plushie.
And you're a cute little plushie, and you just like give a nice little smile. Yeah, exactly. You see this kind of small platoon of the city guard. They just kind of run right past, looking for you on the streets. They kind of split up through the alleyways.
Okay, I'm just gonna creep down from it and make my way to the shipyard.
Okay, fantastic. I'll say with a 15 in stealth, you can kind of guide your way through the actual like city people.
Sure.
And stay fairly hidden. You're pretty small, so you can disappear in a crowd. But as you arrive at the shipyard, you see like the entire coastline is lined with different sized docks. There's definitely like shipping docks where you have those big freights that come in to drop off supplies and trade materials and merchant goods. But you see about 3 docks down, there's 2 guards sitting in chairs, just kind of in front of a dock that looks like there's a little stage and has like a slender podium on it.
I'm gonna. Is there like a crowd forming around it?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
No, it's just the 2 guards. You see one of them is kind of slumped over in his chair with his helmet kind of knocked down a little bit.
Yeah, I cautiously approach, and then I want to sort of scurry behind them to the staging area.
Okay. You see one guard with a 15 stealth. The other guard's facing the other way, looking. So yeah, I'll say you can probably sneak by him.
Yeah.
And you can get kind of towards this podium, and as you get to the podium, you see there's a book with a few kind of like loose leaf sheets of paper kind of hanging out of it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pocket that.
Okay, yeah, you pocket this book. Fantastic. And you see at the very end of the dock, there's nothing parked. There's no ship. There's no boxes or crates or barrels or anything. It's very cleaned off.
Is underneath the dock? Is it just immediately water?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where you are at right now, it is just like water.
Yeah. So we're on the on the dock.
But
okay.
what you do notice is that there's a rope tied off to one of the cleats that is on the dock, and it seems to suspend itself and just disappear.
Like the rope exists and then it doesn't? That's interesting. Okay, so just behind the podium, I want to look through this book.
Okay. So, as you're looking through this book, it's mostly of speeches and different information that Mortimer is going to tell. You see, one of the speeches is telling of his great achievements that Mortimer's made and how far he's taken this company that he started. And he calls himself the pride of Kawodan, the savior of his people. He feels remorse for his dear friend who was just went so mad in his passing years. And that's what's given him inspiration.
Ripping that right out of the book.
Okay, cool.
Into the water.
Okay, fantastic. You ball it up and furiously throw it into the water. And there's just pages and pages and pages of just him talking himself up and just... It's very egotistical.
Yeah, I mean... Shit. I'm scanning through it. Any mention of my father being... Any mention of my father being less than he really was.
You know, you would actually be surprised how much there is nothing about your father except for the one page that you ripped out. No mention of Mortimer's old business partner.
And... Okay. I just... Wow. That's... Shit. Oh my god, okay. I'm just gonna walk down to the end of the dock then, and kind of sit on the edge while I'm reading this book and trying to find mention of my father.
Okay, you sit on the edge of the dock.
Yeah. Oh!
As you sit on the edge of the dock, you go to hang your feet over the middle, and you... There seems to be something in the way.
Like, my feet are flat?
Your feet are inclined.
Inclined?
As you kind of fall over and your feet are just inclined in the air.
Okay, I'll pocket the book for now as I kind of stand and I just put my hands out.
As you put your hands out, you fall over a little bit, but you find there's some sort of ramp. But you can't see it.
Okay. Just kind of look back behind me. Just to check that nobody's seeing. I'm gonna climb up onto this ramp.
Got it. You climb up, and as you do, you get about 3/4 of the way up this ramp, and now everything is visible. You board this massive ship, and everything around it seems like it's in this dull golden sheen. It's grainy almost. It's different. And upon the deck, there's these 4 contraptions, these pylons of sorts, these giant metal rods that seem to be implanted in the actual deck of the ship. There's these kind of spiraling bits of metal that meet at this kind of like ball point on each of them. And there's one on each corner of like where the deck of the ship for where the bow and the point are. You see from these pylons there are cables that run to the center where the mast is, and there's these kind of like not just holes but almost like fixtures that feed these cables down into the depths of the ship.
And I want to kind of like take my hand and run it along the ship, and then along this sort of like structure. I'm just kind of admiring the ingenuity of realistically the ingenuity that can come from outside of my own people, outside of myself too. It's very exciting actually, as I kind of reach down and I look at the cord, and I just kind of like again touching it the whole time, follow it down into.
And these cables are like.
Okay, yeah. So from standing,
thick, yeah.
From standing, I'm just gonna follow it down into the depths of the ship.
Okay, the cables you feel are kind of like warm, and as you touch them, there's like this static that kind of makes your hair stand up a little bit. And as you go over to the actual mast. The funnels that feed these cables down aren't necessarily large. They are just big enough. They're maybe big enough to fit 2 of these cables down
Oh, yeah.
into.
So I kind of just... I peer through them as I, like, take out my flashlight and... well, you know, magical flashlight. I take it out.
Yeah.
And I exactly. I look through it. I'm like, where are you going now? As I kind of look up, and I'm looking for a way down.
Okay. As you kind of shine your flashlight down, you can't really see anything, but you do hear this like heavy whir, this like hum of energy, almost like this churning. But then as you stand up and you start kind of looking around, there is a clear like stairway.
Yeah, I'm gonna head down it. Yeah.
Yeah, down into the ship. So.
Yeah, so I'm gonna head on down, looking for. I'm a little distracted. I'm gonna be honest, because this is just so cool. It's so unlike anything I've ever seen before.
Oh, this ship is beautiful. And as you kind of head down into the bowels of the ship, it is like a different world down here. It is dark, and there's cables that run along the entirety of kind of the sides of the ship. It's almost like built of beams and platforms. Like there's nothing that's supposed to be inside of this ship. There's no crew's quarters. There's no vaults. There's no... There's nothing. It's just this giant workspace that encapsulates this massive machine roughly about 60 feet in front of you.
What is this?
You see this machine. It's got these like long tubes that kind of spiral and spin in the center of this massive kind of electrical extension capped by these 2 giant metal spheres, or cylinders more like.
Sure.
These cords, these cables that are coming down from the surface of the ship are all connected into this thing, and there's 2 different rotors inside of this, generating this energy just very slowly.
Yeah.
It seems like it's in an idle state, but as you kind of look at it, you see that there's also a desk off to the left of of the actual gigantic contraption.
Yeah. I clock the desk and I am moving toward it, but I don't take my eye off of this machine as I'm just, where are you storing all this power? Where is all this power for? It's so interesting. What are you doing here? As I want to look at the desk.
Okay. As you look at the desk, you get a better view of this machine. And as you follow these cables that go from the surface to this machine, it lines up, hooked to 8 cables. Seems like each of these pylons has 2 cables, right?
Yeah.
6 at the top. 8 going towards the top. Then you see there's 2 more cables, adding up to 10, going towards the rear of the ship. These designs that were implemented on this machine, they look very similar to the device you were gifted. Not in its dated aspect, not in its artifactual presence, but the mechanisms, the bits and baubles that might go into this contraption that you were gifted at your father's funeral look very similar to this massive machine. Almost like someone was trying to copy it.
I clear the desk. as I take out. Oh, almost actually cleared the desk. As I take out my side bag, my tail bag, which I had taken off previously, and I put it on as it thunks down, and I sort of unwrap it to look at the artifact that my father gifted me, and I just kind of spin it, looking at, trying to see if I can find just something more about it.
As you take out this artifact that you were secretly given, you see it starts to kind of turn a little bit, and then stops. You're hesitant for a second, possibly expecting something to happen.
Yeah.
But nothing happens. But as you look off to the side, at the paperwork that you pushed aside, you notice...
As I, take it off the floor.
Yeah. There's blueprints. The contraption in front of you looks to be sprawled out on these separate blueprints, all in pieces and parts. And when you put them all together, it seems to make up this machine in front of you. But what's crazy about the writing on it is you recognize the handwriting. As you look further into these files, it's your father's handwriting.
And
then to the left of the files, on this little kind of this holder, a little, what you can imagine would be a wristband.
Yeah.
With a button on it.
What? Where did this go? Dad, why wouldn't you give me this with the device if you wanted me to figure it out? What have I gotten myself into?
Pip.
Yeah.
Can you make a perception check for me?
Yes. 17.
You hear outside the kind of cheers and beckoning of people. You can possibly insight that presentation has begun.
Okay, I wrap up my father's notes, and I kind of placed all of the loose pages into my book and wrap it up with some leather so it doesn't fall out.
Got it.
And I hop up and grab this
bracelet.
Yeah.
This
bracelet,
wrist
yeah, and
cuff.
put it into my bag as well. As I head on back to where the cables were leading.
Okay. As you lead back up, you grab this wrist cuff, and as you do, the artifact, this kind of disc-like artifact that you have, pops open, and you see this kind of golden, almost like ethereal sand. These like sparkling essence that exudes from it, and it starts to swirl around it. It starts to swirl around your wrist. And then you notice the little button is not a button, it's a light. And it, ding, it illuminates this golden color. And then you see the machine. And it starts to rapidly spin. You see this electricity of arcane nature start to stem from the cables and start to gather up and following up the cables. And then you hear this.
Okay, I fastened that bracelet on just to make sure it doesn't leave. Oh my god, I don't want to disturb. This is the first time the artifact has done something in months, but I can't. I gotta get out of here. And I close it back up. And
you close it back up. The machine is still whirring faster and faster and faster, and you feel... Oh, shit. The ship's moving.
Back up to the deck. What's going on?
You go back up to the deck. You on this massive ship that is taken sail. Slowly moving.
Oh.
Nobody aboard. It's just you. You see guards and the crowd watching in awe, applauding. I want you to give me a specialized perception check, please, with advantage.
Okay.
Yeah.
16.
16? That's perfect.
Okay.
You look and you see at the podium turned around this roughly 4-foot tall otter dressed to the nines. He's got this nice crisp black suit with a white tuft that's coming out with this little red rose. Sleeves rolled up. You see he's got this kind of this gold necklace that comes down and these gold bands. Scar over the eye. Eyes kind of closed white. You know who this is. Mortimer Fellwood. Your father's best friend. Or so he thought.
Not anymore.
So you thought.
Not his best friend.
And you see he's got this look upon his face that is awestruck. Like, this isn't supposed to be happening yet. The crowd has no idea. And they're all clapping along. Until you start to see guards. Probably about 20 of them. All lining, running.
As I clock Mortimer, does he clock me?
You don't know yet.
Okay. A smile. I can't help it. A smile creeps across my face. As I
You're at the edge
take
of
a
the
moment.
ship, right?
Yeah, I'm at the edge of the ship
Okay,
looking,
cool.
yeah. And I take a moment. And I pull out the artifact. I'm gonna open it.
Okay. You split it in half. And you can now see this kind of veil that has shimmered off. There was some sort of illusory veil over the ship to hide it so that it could be dispelled. And it has dispelled, and you see it shimmer in front of your face. As then you see the expression on Mortimer's face go from this, I wonder what's happening, to, no, it can't be.
I'm just gonna give him a little salute as I run back to wherever. I know this ship is not a normal ship, but wherever I intuit that the helm would be, the center of command and control, right there.
Absolutely. You give him a salute, and you walk confidently up these stairs. You get to the wheel of the ship. And as you do, you turn back around and you notice there's guards getting on other ships.
Okay. Is there already a wheel to this ship?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm just gonna take the artifact, put it right there, tie it on with some leather, some rope to the wheel so it doesn't get lost,
Okay.
and then depart.
Fantastic. So, you realize you're about to get chased by these other ships, these capital lion ships.
Yeah.
This ship is much bigger than these lion ships. But you'll notice it still moves much faster. The ingenuity and actual creation of this ship has streamlined it to still be massive, but still take on some speed.
That's it, Dad.
The sails. And you book it. These ships are pulling out right next to you, but you seem to be pushing just forward of them. Pip, what would you like to do?
Oh boy. I'm feeling so good right now. I've freaking proved, well, I haven't proved anything, but realistically, I know that Mortimer knows that I'm onto him.
Yeah?
And I've got what he wants.
You hear this. These explosions in the background. And then you hear this. This cannonball that flies past the ship and into the water.
I want to really quickly figure out if I can figure out how to get this thing going.
Okay. What you see is there's the wheel. There's 2 levers on each side of the wheel stemming from the ground that you can pull backwards, forwards, however you need to.
Great.
And you see that there are these 2 thin wires that reach down into the center of the ship.
Okay, we're gonna pull one at a time.
Okay. You see the ship starts to... These pylons start to kind of ignite with this electrical energy, and it kind of meets at the top. And you just pulled... Which one did you pull back?
Right one.
The right one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And it shoots forward this kind of blast of electrical energy. Doesn't really hit anything, but you do see that it just kind of scatters into the air, and any type of particles that might have been in front of you are definitely incinerated.
All right, now that one, put it back forward, pull the left one.
You pull the left one, and you see the exact same thing shoot behind you. It cracks into one of these ships, and you see the ship's mast falls over into the water. The ship is now kind of rearing and trying to take direction, but it can't without its mast.
All right, not that one. Maybe it has a different trigger if I do both. And I pull both back.
So far, nothing. But this tiny little flicker of electricity channels through these small cords that go into the center. Pip.
Yeah.
This grappling hook into the back of the ship. It's on the actual back railing of the deck, and you feel your ship lurch backwards.
And then with just fierce determination, because I feel like I know this ship by my heart. Both of them forward.
Both of them forward?
Yeah.
Yeah. You hit both of them forward. And
oh
you
God.
can't push them forward. It seems like they're locked into place. But as you notice, sparks are now more frequently going through these smaller cables that are running into the front of the ship. Or sorry, into the middle of the ship. It's almost like it's charging something.
Yeah. Okay. My God.
You then see breaks off the top of the mast. This bola fired from this massive ballista on the ship to your back right, and the top of your mast.
Shite.
You see one of the actual flags that is suspended from the top of the mast is all now tangled and clumped up in this bola.
Is there like a rope to that crow's nest that's now kind of down? Yeah. Okay, great. I'm gonna climb up it and try to undo this bola.
Okay, cool. I will say there's a clear ladder that goes up to the crow's nest. Yeah, it's roughly about 45 feet. So, if you'd want, you can maybe dash.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
run,
cool.
Even.
You book it, and as you get about 15 feet there, you still have your artifact open, right?
Well, shit. Oh, no. Shit. I panic, and I turn back around. I've left it tied to the wheel.
Okay. You've left it tied to the wheel.
I gotta go back.
Got it. Okay, you head on back. As you start to sprint on back, you see now the entirety of these cords are illuminated with this kind of arcane yellow goldish energy. And just as you take the artifact back off and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, you stand off to the side and you hear this right in front of you, this cannonball takes out the steering wheel.
Okay.
Right in between the actual levers. And then you see the tops of the levers. They flip up, revealing 2 little buttons.
Hell yeah! Freaking grab those things, push those buttons.
You grab onto them. You slam these things forward. You feel everything start to slow around you, but you're not.
Oh.
The entirety of the ship begins to and it's gone. Until you emerge with a of the ship. It's still moving, and as you kind of stand up from almost falling over onto these levers, you get up and you notice the ship is rapidly moving towards this shoreline. And you...
Oh, God, there's no steering wheel. Shite. Can I move the levers at all?
You can if you'd like to.
Okay, I'm hoping there's a break. I'm gonna pull them back, both.
Okay, you pull them back. Okay.
And nothing happens. Oh my God.
You notice the...
And I can't put them forward anymore, right? Because they're locked in.
Try and pull them forward, and they are locked into place. But it seems you are in a completely different area. Where you were, more so in the Sea of Pieces, you are in a completely different environment. Where you were just leaving the docks of Therendel, you now see this kind of desert landscape in front of you. And you are moving towards the shore of this desert landscape with immense speed.
Very desperately, I pull all the things in my bag. I'm confirming that I have them. My father's notebook, Mortimer's notebook, my artifact, and this, because I have the bracelet on my hand. I'm going to rush to the side of the ship.
Okay.
And I'm going to try my very best to time it so that I can throw my bag on the shore and dive into the water.
Okay. Again, as you are moving towards this, go ahead and give me... Go ahead and give me survival.
Okay.
And give me a strength check.
Okay. That's a D12.
You need to separate those two.
I know.
1. Okay. Okay, give me your strength check. Was it another 1?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. You take your bag and you throw it, forgetting to close it.
Oh, no.
And the papers, the book, everything but the artifact seems to fly off into the wind behind you. As you see all the papers in the book land into the water. And your book bag sink to the bottom. You go to jump. And as you do, you see this first and you go... and you jump towards the papers.
No, towards the papers. Towards the bag. Towards the bag.
Yeah, you jump towards the bag. And as you do, I'm gonna...
Oh my god. If my father were alive, he would kill me.
You are about maybe 25 feet up.
Okay.
Okay. As you hit the surface of the water, you skip across and you dive in, taking 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. 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 That's fine. We're fine.
Now, can you swim your way back up?
Well, I'm naturally buoyant as an otter. So,
More so, are you still up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I have one hit point.
Wow! Okay, cool.
And yeah, so I'm kind of floating, as I'm assuming that this is right next to the shore. So waves are kind of where they're forming here as I'm going up and down. And with one as the wave kind of crests, and I dive down, swimming to find my bag.
I need you to give me an investigation check.
Yeah.
And since you are in water, I believe you have not advantage, but
I'm not encumbered by anything.
You're not encumbered by it.
Yeah. So it's just a normal roll. You said investigation?
Yes.
Yes. 22.
Fantastic. You end up being able to grab most of these blueprints that have been on the surface. And you notice that the book itself is still in the bag as you rip it up from going towards the bottom of the sea. You're roughly maybe 40 feet down.
Okay. When did you say book? Mortimer's or my father's? Or like mine? There's 3.
You don't know. You just noticed that there are 2 books in there.
And I've collected all the pages that were on top of the surface.
You've collected as many pages as
I
you
could. Yeah. And I'm gonna swim right back up to the top, and go on my back, have everything on my belly, as I use my tail to act like a rudder to get to shore.
Okay, got it. Yeah, you swim on back to shore, and as you do, you notice the ship is still coming towards the shore, and you are obviously not matching pace with the ship.
Of course.
But you are using your tail as a rudder, steering you, and you're kind of backstroking, you're kicking, and then you hear this of the ship slamming into the shore, and it skids across the surface. You get to the shore, and you notice the ship. It starts sparking with this arcane energy, and it
cover, taking cover.
You cover
with my father's pages in the center, the most protected thing.
Okay. And as you cover, it you wait for a sec. No explosion. And as you look up, the ship is gone. Only bits, pieces of the wreckage from the bottom of the ship scattered throughout.
And I think I just take as much time as I need, as I can, to sort through that wreckage. As I'm turning over planks of wood and sheets of metal, desperately looking for anything else that might be my father's.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
A natural 20.
A natural 20. Okay. You find, as you are picking up small pieces of wood that you can actually carry, you're looking for maybe about 45 minutes. You get tired. You sit down into the sand, and as you do, you notice you sit on something buried in the sand.
I just kind of scoot back one spot as I dig the sand out from underneath me.
And you notice it's the last book. It's your father's journal. As fate would have it, you have found your father's journal.
And
in the wreckage.
Honestly, really emotional. It's like a happy cry, but it's stifled. I know I'm the only one around here, but even then, Pip has his pride about him. He won't let anyone see this. But you can we probably can't see because of the fur, but it's quite a bit of tears. Just wipe them away.
You're also already wet from diving into
salt
the
water.
ocean.
Yeah. As I pull out the notebook and I hold it close to my heart. I'm gonna do this, Dad. I can do this. And I'm gonna make you proud. I'm gonna do it. I'm going to make you proud.
Coming up from this emotional moment, you realize you're on the shore of a vast desert. The wreckage of what once was a ship next to you, the sea behind you, and in front of you, an endless amount of sand. Cold. Not hot like your typical desert. At least you're used to the cold. But what do you do now?
I think I just use the wood from the ship and I try to dry it in the remaining sun that I have and make a fire and spend the night.
And I think that is where we'll end our session today. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and join us next time on our third origin story.